What's up and welcome to Idle Insights, a show where each week I, Treavor Bettis, talk to interesting people about idle champions and Dungeons and Dragons. And returning with me this week is the amazing Gabe Hicks.
Oh my gosh, hi. I'm an interesting
Hello.
person.
You are.
That's
Right
everything that
now,
I've ever
you are
wanted.
the most interesting person.
I can retire. This is it. This is where I'm peaking.
You just get a shirt that just says, I can retire, and you just walk around proudly with it.
That might get me beat up.
How dare you be well off?
I'm young. That might get me. Someone's gonna be like, "Oh, you can retire, huh?" I'm like, "No, I didn't mean it. I'm still working."
Well, yes, you are an interesting person. You are the most interesting person right now. But if there are people in chat who somehow don't know why you're interesting, who are you for the fine folks who may not know?
Whoa. I'm Gabe Hicks. I am a voice actor, cosplayer, and game designer. I have done work with Paizo on Pathfinder and Starfinder. I have done work with MCDM, Critical Role. I am the senior game designer at Steamforged.
Yeah.
I do a lot of cosplay stuff. I do voiceover in a lot of indie games. And one of them is on like the PS5, which is wild, called Crimson Spires, where I play a younger vampire brother that you can romance or not romance, and then I get real sad.
I didn't know that. That's so awesome.
I've done work. I haven't talked about this so much. I've done work for some medical stuff. So I've actually done voice acting for like medical training programs when they are working with programs to be like, oh, like, well, this is what like the person would say in reaction. So I'll record like a bunch of lines for that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually really cool.
Oh, and I wrote a kid's book.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, how's the kids book going? Yeah.
It is going to shelves, I think, in June.
I got it pre-ordered.
And I'm so excited. It was one of my proudest things. I'm just, and like the artwork is so good. It's so cool.
From what I've seen of the cover and the back cover, it looks fantastic. I can't get a hold of that.
I'm gonna post some pictures this weekend because they said that I could post some internal shots this weekend to like share it. And I'm like, finally. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that is awesome. Well, as you can see, chat, Gabe is an extremely interesting person. If you're not following him on Twitter, I highly recommend it for those videos that he's talking about with the cosplaying and the voice acting. Because there's been plenty of times that my wife was going, "Did you see Gabe's new video?"
I've taken my I've taken it. I have discovered I'm in a lot of people's D&D home games now.
What?
Like because of TikToks that I made, people will ask me permission to use me as a reference for their like in-game villains. And I've said, like, I go through and I try to say yes every time that I can. Like I can think of 12 instances because I've messaged the people to confirm it's fine that I've said like yes to. So I'm in like 12 D&D games. That's like
their big so bag. Cool. Oh, that's the dream right there.
Yeah.
I live on through the legends of other tables. Oh man, that's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
Well, today we're here to talk about a new character of yours and a new champion of Idle Champions. Tell us about Solaak.
Oh my gosh. I talked about this a little bit recently. I wanted a character that was just the good guy. And some instances it feels like it's hard to be that depending on like environment or party. But Dragonlance felt like a really good opportunity to just play the good guy. Like it's not like the good guy who like follows the law and everything. It's the guy who does everything that he can to protect as many people. And a good guy can't do any good if he's dead. So he also still has that sense of self-preservation. He doesn't do things and like plans to just sacrifice himself. He's going to do everything that he can while keeping himself alive and safe, because as long as he has those things, he can keep helping people. Plus, also, I wanted to ride a dragon. So like, what more could I ask for?
That was definitely the one part of this champion that I was not ready for until I finally saw like the in-game thing. I'm like, how is this gonna work? He's on a dragon.
and it came together so well, having the like pseudo dragon just be the point, and then Solock is in the back just firing. Everything that I could have asked for.
I was actually at a meeting the other day. One of the developers, I think it was Jarrett, was actually really, really proud of like the arcing arrow that shoots out from Solock.
It's so good. And that's the part of the reason that's so good is like when you have a champion do something, you just move them to the spot and then hit. Or like they'll aim up and hit. But like with Solock, they're already in the back. So there's like an invisible arrow that we can't see that goes and arches. Sometimes it's
it's cool.
Yeah.
It's real
I'm passionate.
Okay, so what, you went into a little bit there of like you wanted to be the good guy. Like what was like what led you to making this character specifically? Like was it just dragons are cool, I want to ride dragon?
I knew that I wanted to like as soon as the Drake Warden is available, I'm like, oh my god, I have to play a Drake Warden if I get a chance to be in a Dragonlance game. And then after that, I started thinking, what kind of character feels like a good parallel to this mighty beast that like could just take out a city if they really, really wanted to? Because even like a young dragon or a smaller dragon can do terrifying damage. So like this beast that he makes a connection with, like that notion of like mutual respect, understanding. And I feel like you get the paragon of good thinking like a paladin. So like what would make a ranger be able to have that? The ranger is the person who, if someone starts running away, a ranger probably has a bow so they can stop them from getting away. A ranger that can ride a drake can pick up their speed to catch up with someone if they need to do something physical and close combat. This character in the ranger by design had me thinking like, if someone is getting away, Solaak is the one who can stop it.
Yeah. It seems to have all the equipment needed to do so.
Oh, absolutely. And like the equipment in game is so cool. And I was talking about this a little bit recently as well, that like there's one of the items is like it shows you his blade. And
well, if you want to, we can talk in depth about the equipment.
Do it.
Let's jump to that. Yeah. So you're talking about the Blade of Storms.
Yes.
Or Blade of the Storm. There we go.
And the reason that like the color schemes match Tempest so much is because the idea is that these are all like, as Tempest was growing, old pieces of Tempest. So like the Blade of Storms is actually a talon that's been sharpened and reshaped. And that's also why it has that like lightning element to it. So like when the Drake Warden can connect elements to the weapon, the reason it like conducts so well is because it's made of Tempest. Tempest was growing or shedding scales or something like that. And also like you'll see it on like the bow too, that it's got some of a similar plating. It's the idea of Tempest's scales on something. So when Tempest is granting that boon or granting that bonus, it's like you have two pillars that are connected, and it's easy to shoot the lightning to it because it recognizes that polarity, that level, that wave.
And me over here being a massive Monster Hunter fan, that's freaking cool. That is so cool.
Yeah.
And I see I've got the equipment up over here, but I can see the Dragon Riders. What Sabatons? I don't know that one.
Yeah. So Sabaton. So it's I had to get exactly the right. So they're from like Middle Ages, and the reason that they're Sabatons is because of the way the toes are. Okay. So like as you see how there's like a point to the toes. Yeah. Sabatons famously have a pointed toe to it. So if you're gonna have like dragon claws on the end of it, they're reaching and meeting that like Sabaton vibe. Because if I'm gonna stab someone with my foot, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Especially with parts of a dragon as the stabbing parts. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I learned something new today. I'm pretty happy with that.
I mean the Idle Champions crew taught me that birds and reptiles don't feel heat. So Aarakocra and dragons or dragonborn could just eat peppers and not suffer from it.
Yeah, but I like that. It's the good burn.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you talked a little bit about there, but then we got the Enchanted Longbow.
Yes, the Enchanted Longbow. And part of the narrative of the Longbow is that when Solaak encountered Tempest, there was some aspect of like a conversation and agreement. Think like a warlock, but more equal footing, equal terms, equal conversation. And
Symbiosis kind of thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
And the longbow was probably like the first thing that came out of that like cooperation and experience. Because then when you have the bow already, but then you're like plating the scales on it and then restringing the like line on it, it's a whole different experience.
Yeah. I love the flavor text. With this, I cannot miss. It's so good.
He's dramatic.
I want to note something though, that on the sword it says our power suffuses it. So does Solaak kind of do that, where it's like it is kind of the our thing when it's talking about Tempest and Solaak?
Absolutely.
I like that.
And because he's a Kalashtar, and Kalashtar are able to telepathically communicate. Something that you'll probably see in the show is Solock doesn't say a whole lot. And it's because at some point he stopped having to speak out loud. Most of his conversations are telepathically with his Drake. Speaking out loud is, if you don't do it often, it's not necessarily so much that you lose it, but the way you communicate is different.
Yeah.
So they function together for the most part. And when Solock is striking, almost assuredly he's striking with Tempest. If he's shooting his longbow, Tempest might not be close enough in proximity to do something, so it feels more like him. Versus when they're fighting in close combat, they, to quote that movie or book that everyone knows, they fight as one.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool as heck.
I was like, I'm never gonna get a chance to be this dramatic of a character in a world like
Right?
this again. I'm gonna do everything.
I think that's fantastic. That's definitely the time and place to do so.
Yep.
So then we got the Drake Warden's armor.
Yep.
That was just the like, is that one still connected to Tempest in any way, or is that just something that Solaak had to begin with?
So that one's something that Solaak had to begin with, and it is meant to mimic a little bit of like the Knights of Solamnia armor. Because then you see like a little bit of more like the regal lighter plating to it.
Yeah.
And I'd almost say more that he probably got it customized or carved to, on the armor, resemble Tempest's like ridges and scales. Because that's what he already had. But if he's holding pieces of Tempest with him, then he wanted to change his armor to match his companion.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
There is I wrote down like a page, but there was like 4 or 5 in my head that I'm like, we'll see how this blends. We'll see. Because I like the idea of, if I have it in my head, I want to see how it plays out, because that might change what I have on paper.
Yeah. You gotta. Well, actually, there's a question. How many do you think you had that didn't end up as things here?
6.
Oh wow. See, that worried me. That sounded more like a Marvel laugh.
So the sword that is Tempest is actually one that he carries on his hip. The sword on his back is not always Tempest.
Okay.
So much. I mean, Tempest, yeah, because he has a sword. No, reversed. So he has the sword that is Tempest on his back. But there's another sword that he carries that is not related to Tempest, and he avoids it a lot.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Might find out more about that at some point down the line.
We'll see what happens. It's possible.
So then we got Soul of the Tempest. What is this item?
That's essentially Solaak's heart.
Oh wow.
Like the heart in his chest, basically. Because with the Drake board, you can just conjure your Drake. So I was like, what if I changed the heart that he had to be replaced with like the soul of this Drake that he's contracted with? And that was a part of the deal. So they are one. When Solaak dies, Tempest dies.
Oh no.
Yeah. When Tempest dies, Solaak has to use a spell slot to call him back. But that's
there you go.
As expected.
Yep. Well, that's how the magic works.
Yeah.
And then we got a signet ring.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
So in the ring itself, it looks like that of a dragon's eye.
Mm-hmm.
And Solock comes from a family that is relatively well off.
Mm.
But none of them were focused on fighting. More like almost like merchants or nobility that's done well and are able to stay back because like it's not our problem until it's like hitting us closer to home.
Mm-hmm.
So Solaak keeps his like signet ring, his family sigil with him because he cares about his family and the people and where he comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of dark. If he did die, for example, by dragon breath, the signet ring makes him identifiable.
Oh, yeah.
And in a world where the only thing that's left could be your bones and acid,
Yeah.
sometimes it's like knowing who this was or where they came from. Like it's more important to him that people knew what happened instead of having to wonder always.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So if you don't put Solak's signet ring on him and he falls, you're responsible for his family not knowing what happened. I just want you all to know that.
All of you feel bad immediately.
Yep.
Well, so answering through those though, you kind of answered a question that I had pocketed, which is, did you have experience with Dragonlance before working with Fear of the Black Rose and Solock?
My first experience with Dragonlance was the PAX Unplugged live show in December.
Oh, really?
100%.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
But it's like it because I was in that weird, not so much weird, interesting middle space where there's so much old content and then there was so much new content that was coming, and I didn't want to skew my opinion or expectation or like what the experience was going to be. And so I hit a point where I was just kind of like, I don't know what this is going to be like, but I know conceptually what it is from people talking about it.
Yeah.
And this was a great experience to not have like meta knowledge of what's happening in a world, what's happening in a situation. Because there's people who know Dragonlance through every aspect of it. But my ignorance gave me the ability to experience something completely fresh and completely new. And that's been awesome.
Yeah.
Like some people are like, oh, Lord Soth is like absolutely a monster. And I'm like, I know him as a bad dude that's a death knight that kills people. So I'll stop him. And they're like, Gabe, that's a terrible idea. And I'm like, yo, neither me nor Solock knows what he can do, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. That is true. That is actually a really good point. But and especially when it comes to the stuff with these older planes and whatnot coming to 5th edition, having that, honestly, not having the previous knowledge can be a good thing, especially in situations like the December game or like right now. It's like we're playing in the 5th edition one. This is keep your mind clear of the other stuff because it may not be true anymore. So that's kind of the best way to go about these ones.
Well, especially as like a designer and writer for like just D&D content in general, there's already so much stuff that I have meta knowledge about, or like general fantasy. Like fantasy across so many mediums treats like the need to use fire against ogres so they stop regenerating and stuff like that. And that's just stuff that I have in my head. So the chance for it to be like, this is fantasy that I have no idea how it works, and I have no idea how it's different. Like the idea that it's not technically Tiamat, but it's like Tiamat's as a different name, a different presentation. I was like, I don't know who that dragon lady is, but she's hot. And someone's like, hey, that's Tiamat. I'm like, word? Still here for it. So it's really exciting to like see things. And there's a lot of people who already know this stuff, and they're like, Gabe, that's a bad idea. And I'm like, well, I don't know why, so I'm gonna do it anyway. Because I care. I love my characters, but I love storytelling more than I do individual characters that I have.
Because what I was gonna say there is like, Gabe, that's a bad idea. Sounds like a good story to me.
Yes, and I don't get enough opportunities because I also run games a lot. I don't get enough opportunities to experience consequences as a character. And like if consequences are going to lead to something awesome narrative wise, I am all for it.
Yeah. Yeah. That is a good point. I hadn't thought about that being in the DM chair so much. Like, I'm really good at giving out consequences.
Yeah. and like TBH, in the world of D&D where revival is so easy, look, people die, people come back, people go to hell to get them back. Like maybe I'm gonna be revived as a squirrel. I don't know. If I'm a squirrel, there's nothing that says I can't still.
Oh my god! We need a Solock skit now where it's just a squirrel on top of the dragon.
I gotta do some research because I gotta figure out how. Because it's not a spell. If I'm a druid who's wild shaped, and I got some things that I gotta do some reading.
I think I see where the gears are turning in your head. That could be interesting. Episode 5 of Isle Champions Presents will be
His name
wild.
is Squolak.
That one broke me. I don't know where I was at. Okay, well, tell you what, we've talked about Isle Champions Presents a few times here.
Yeah.
In case somehow someone watching this channel does not know about Fury of the Black Rose, what is going on with that game?
Okay, Lord. That dog is not happy.
Oh, I don't think it's coming through.
Oh,
so
great. There is, God, 2 of us, Mark's character, Miria, and mine, Solaak, who are native to the world of Kryn. And 3 others have crash landed in a spelljammer and crash landed into the Chapel of Soth. Soth? I keep saying Soth for some reason. They crash landed into the Chapel of Soth, which Solock knew was terrible, and they basically just got everyone a hit on them. And so now Soth has arrived with a legion of undead, and we are running into the woods because he is basically trying to kill us. And there's also a demon child that one of them is being haunted by. Like, and this is from Solock's point of view. Like, he's really confused because his mortal enemy who almost killed him is here and was like, hey, I know that I almost killed you for money, but now I'm also in trouble. So we got to go. Those 3 people that crashed into this chapel that is owned by the man that I used to work for, that's like basically a demon, but just an undead monster, is here and decided that everyone else needs to die. So follow me into the woods. Oh, but also there's a living armor person and then a cat man and also the elf, but the elf is the least concerning part. And also the armor person keeps seeing a demon child, but we don't know about that yet. And now their arms are huge. And Solock is just like, everything went so bad so fast. I was just going to wait here for Soth and see what happens. And now everyone's dying. It's a bad time.
The fact that that's all just episode 1.
I know. I know. Oh, also, they released acidic oozes into my town when the Spelljammer crashed. Like 4 of them, and they don't know where they are.
That might cause some problems.
Yes.
Some infrastructure problems, yeah.
And there's like the party has taken like across all of us. I didn't take any of that, but that's separate. The party has taken, I think, like 120 points of damage in like 10 minutes where there wasn't actually combat for the first third of it. Because people were just hugging oozes and getting oozes. Like, I'm like, what's happening? Why are you all like this? And then the undead army shows up and everyone's like, you know what? We might be able to take this. No, He like I almost felt bad, but I was like, what would he do? I don't know these people. I'm going to the woods. And he ran and he turned like he made a wind wall and ran. And he turned around and they weren't running yet. And that was the moment where I had to decide, is this Gabe or is this Solock? Oh no. They're still people. I have to help them. So then I helped Miria.
Gotta do that good guy thing.
I know. And then the cat and the elf teleported into the woods. And Solock was like, wow, why did I stop? Who are these people? Are they agents of chaos that I have to fight?
Yes.
I was rolling for myself on just because I like rolling, and I'm like, okay, is Solock okay with this? Who? Barely. Is Solock okay with this? No. I will forget the abyssal geese. I hate abyssal geese. The abyssal chicken in Idle Champions is the most haunted thing I've ever seen.
You should see the Whiz Kids mini. It's disturbing.
I will not. I will not. Yeah, they released abyssal geese and like, what's going to happen?
I mean, either it's a problem that's gonna go away, or Kryn's gonna have a new ecosystem. So, you know, I'm sure it'll be fine.
And if you have Idle Champions, you can vote on the stuff that happens to Solaak. I am going to skew the vote. I don't care.
I was going to bring it up. I
truly will skew the vote. Vote Solaak a friend. He needs a friend. You know who's his closest thing to a friend right now that's not his dragon? The woman that tried to kill him.
So for reference, for folks in the chat, in case you're not in the game right now, the question for today is, Nightland is a haunted land cursed by the cataclysm. What kind of spirit does Solock encounter during this week's episode? A friend or an enemy?
You know, like to be honest, I don't even know if he has friends, so I don't know who's gonna show up.
Yeah, to be fair, we also have to remember B-Dave is DMing this, so is the friend really a friend?
Like, and the thing is, if it's an enemy, you know how many people there could be?
So many.
You know how many? And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you betray me and you all vote for an enemy and it's Tiamat, Gabe is taking over. I got a high charisma. I will absolutely become like Solock for Tiamat. Gabe will take over. But if it's a friend, I'll stick to it. I'll be like, you know what? Thank you for showing up. I'm trying to do everything that I can. But if it's an enemy and Solock wakes up with a nightmare, he's gonna be like, ta 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 ta. Oh no.
Shooting arrows at the screen.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want to be an awesome, cool friendo, you can go into Idle Champions right now and vote for a friend for Solock. But
if you vote enemy, you are now my nemesis, and you think that's great until I show up and dance battle you at inopportune moments, and then go home. At the grocery store, dance battle in the fruit aisle.
In the grocery store, while in line, and you have to use the restroom.
Yes, you're going to the airport, dance battle when you're checking your bag. You're going on a walk with your family at a family reunion. Who's that black guy that jumped out of a tree? Why is he breakdancing right now? Dance battle. Inconvenient opportunity times.
Oh man, now I really
Why did you invite me here?
Because I'll have a blast talking to you every time we talk, Gabe. But now I really wish we had an ability to do like skins for the ultimates where it's just so long breakdancing on Tempest.
Okay, if I get another character in Idle Champions,
oh man,
in whatever hypothetical future, if they use their fists, I will see if I can convince the team to let my ultimate ability just be breakdancing like a windmill, going down. It just
hops onto his head and spins towards the enemy.
It's like I'm a spinning top.
Oh god, I'm gonna talk to the design team after this episode.
I'm not proud of my choices.
It's like Gabe and I sketched out the next champion. No need to make one.
Hitmontop. No. It's a. Slap
Oh.
on bottom. No, wait. Um,
I don't think I've ever broken this hard on the show.
huh.
Well,
Uh,
there we go.
yeah. Yep.
Yep. Moving on.
Uh-huh.
So one of the things that I definitely wanted to ask is, I mentioned B. Dave is the DM.
Yep.
That can lead to all manners of chaos. Are you expecting anything from B. Dave as the DM? Like any like twists and turns?
So this is a weird answer because
I'm here for it.
Expecting anything, no, because I've expected tragedy to lead to a good story. And like since it's high level, we even talked about the like death can be hard, but also our party makes wild choices, so I'm not super worried about that. I expect there to be people that are unsavable, and that can be socially or physically, like people who can't be saved that have made their choice to make these terrible decisions because they crave chaos or they crave the violence or they crave the darkness, or the people who are fighting against a dragon knowing that they're going to perish and do it anyways. And we can't stop them. We can't save them. They are burned to a crisp and ash. And that is it. And that is what, because we're in a war. We're in a war. And in war, one of the greatest currencies is death. And death can be dealt out. Death can be traded. Death can be preserved, but there's also interest in death, because if you hold on to the ability to cause like widespread destruction, if you wait longer, the interest builds because there might be more people when you do it. So with that notion, that's also part of why like having a character who is focused on the good makes it like kind of hard, because he's gonna experience grief and realize how powerless he is. And even the idea that those people got hit with a fireball and then they just immediately turned undead, those aren't people that you can heal. Those aren't people you can stop from making death saves. Those aren't people that you can revive. They're gone now. Yeah.
Dang, I don't think I could have expected a better answer than that. Well done.
Well, so Solock, like that's it's kind of sad to try to be good in a world where you watch people who you're powerless to save often is like part of maybe why you try to save as many as you can.
Yeah.
Because if the idea that like you hit someone with a fireball and they immediately died, you became undead, I don't know if the party sat with that thought, but like as soon as it happened to me, it was Solaak just watched more people that he could do nothing to save. And even though he acknowledges it, it's sad. You can't heal someone who's immediately become undead. You can't revive someone who's become undead. If you take them out again, is their soul already gone? And that was instead a separate one. Yeah.
Well, I will definitely say, from what we've seen with B. Dave, there will definitely be some tragedy in there. So we'll see what happens. And you make a good point, though. Yeah,
family that had a name. He's got family, but they're just different. Someone else. And jerks.
I mean, you made the point there about Dragonlance, like especially this era is like this is a war. Yeah. Like there is a war going on. There's dragons, there's necromancers, there's death knights. It is a bad time.
Yeah.
And now you're teamed up with elf, a cat person, and a robot.
And a death lady.
I want to ask a little bit about that. So what is going on with Solaak and Miria?
The last time they met, Miria almost killed him. And there's like ways around it, because like we saw that Miria had a relationship with these people, these like this army in some way. And Solock is now working with someone who was incredibly dangerous to himself and other people around him. And it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend is, to at least Solock's logic, so foolish, because to be someone's enemy, there is a purpose for it. It's a strange thought to say the enemy of my enemy is my friend instead of saying this is my ally. If they were not already your ally, why is that? So now he has to, and I think he's nervous. He's nervous because of the idea that if these people that he's with now, if they become expendable in some way, like, does he have to protect them? Should he protect them? Should he protect Miria? Or is Miria able to protect herself? Like, is saving Miria a good thing to do?
These are good questions to be asking them. Yeah.
And it's been one episode. So I'm like,
one episode.
I don't know where he's gonna fall. It's hard to think like, and we talk about this out of character, but it's hard to think like, would Solock save Miria if Miria was at the end of a blade? Does he believe that the good she can do outweighs the bad that was done? I don't know.
I like that. And again, like, you're saying that was like, this is just the first episode, and I think that's the thing that I kind of love about this, because everything I've heard about Dragonlance, like, this story seems very much in the Dragonlance vein, and it's got those questions of morality and whatnot in it, and I think that's fantastic, and I cannot wait to see where that goes. We're gonna take a sidestep here real quick and do a giveaway here in chat for people who are live with us. Our awesome mod Sean is going to be putting a keyword into chat here for your chance to win 42 chests of your choice, excluding Bahamut chests. There it is. Just type Solock into chat, all lowercase, and you have a chance to win 42 chests of your choice, excluding Bahamut chests. And
42 chests.
Yeah, it's a lot of chests.
I can't enter, right?
I mean,
I won't. I'll do it next time because I want someone else to get it. But I just want it to be known that I am one of you now. So,
well, while the chat fills completely with Solock, we actually got a couple of viewer questions that I wanted to start hitting. And if you, I will say after the 2 minutes of Solock, if you want to put in a question : and then your question, we will try to get to those as well. We're going to start up with a question from Cassius. They say, question: how often do you how often do either of you look at the Black Rose poll questions and your brain wishes for a third answer?
So that's a good question. And actually, I never do. Because I vote just to enjoy voting with it. But I love seeing what everyone else leans into in the end result.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's fun to see, not so much whether people like want to reward or punish a character, but like it goes back to me, that idea of like, it's not that people want to see Solock meet like a friend or an enemy because they like or don't like him. It's that they want to see a specific type of encounter because that's one that might be so like interesting to them. Because even if like even meeting an enemy might work out well in the long run because of like what comes out of it. So I've anytime I do a game thing, like voting that changes the influence or like the way stuff plays out, because I have faith in the people that I'm playing with, and if I don't have faith in people that I'm playing with, I've decided not to play with them. I've learned from that. But regardless of what the end result is, I know that the intention is still to have fun and tell a good story. So like even if it's still an enemy, it's going to be awesome to see what it is. And if it's a friend, I'm I'm very curious to see what kind of friend it comes out to be. I don't know if I answered your question because I got excited and started.
Oh no, that's you did. You 100% did.
I love this stuff. I love this stuff every day. Every day. I am game stuff is fun.
I will say, Cassius, yes, I definitely do look at those because if you see them post on Twitter, it's because of me. So yeah.
Thanks, friend.
But most of the time, I don't think I've ever been like, oh, there should be a third answer there. I'm just like, oh, this is I love it because it's usually two extremes, and those are the ones that I love. It's like, is the crate full of happy and excited puppies, or is the crate a mimic? Like
yeah.
Either way, it's gonna be a fun show.
I mean, it could be a puppy mimic. Oh my god. I gotta make it.
Actually, there's oh my god, there is a third party monster manual book, and I cannot Fairy Fire. It's called Fairy Fire, and one of them had a Lisa Frank ooze in it that was just like a Lisa Frank puppy that was just a bunch of little puppies in ooze. It was one of my favorite things. Let's see. The next question we got is from Radram, who says, question, how how nuts is it that that shop skin with the armor on Tempest? Like, just saying, how freaking cool is that?
Oh my gosh. I was losing my mind when they were like, okay, let's make this. I'm like, for real? For real? And there's something really neat to me about parallels of light and dark colors. So I was like, because Tempest is such a bright and light colored beast, having like dark black armor looks wicked.
It looks awesome.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And the little face covering on Solaak. Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
And then also like with like the way Solock's armor is, there's also, you know, the narrative in my head, like during a war, something that can be important is like ambushing and guerrilla tactics. So if you're wearing all black armor and moving through the night, you have an advantage. And Solock is a relatively sneaky person. Like Pass Without a Trace is an important spell to have in this instance. It's not about like running in there the loudest. It might be about getting in to save people, getting out, and then going back in to gently tap the bad guys in their sleep. Gently,
Very gently.
Yeah.
Star Chaser 43 says, question, was B-Dave the one that asked you first to be in Fury of the Black Rose? What was your reaction?
Was B-Dave the one that initially asked?
Yeah. I think we reached out to you about it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm in. I don't even know if I knew that B-Dave was running initially. I just remember I was really excited about the concept, and then when I heard B-Dave was running, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be that kind of story. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Because B-Dave's storytelling style to me is high stakes with dramatic involvement.
Yes.
And that 100%. Feels like Dragonlance to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if there are two canon planes that B-Dave was just born to run games in, it is Ravenloft and it's Dragonlance.
And I don't think if the way that it came together had been different, I don't think I would have made Solock. I don't think it would have been a Drakeborn. I think it would have been somebody else.
That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, the what ifs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see what the next question we got here, and mark this one so I don't accidentally read it again. Is from the Lurking Writer. He says, question, how much, if at all, did you work on the character and Tempest with B-Dave, or are you surprised with how B-Dave is portraying Tempest?
B-Dave and I have a wonderful working relationship where we have been like, all right, you know what? Give it to me when you're done. So I was like, this is everything that I have in mind for Tempest. And he grabbed it, took it, and just led into it. And the way that he's brought Tempest to life is awesome, because he's really got well down the idea that it is like this friendly creature to Solock that is aware of danger in other people. And I think the way I described it was like a guard dog who is incredibly friendly to the person that it's with, the person that takes care of them, and is cautious of other people, can be friendly to other people, and can also eat other people. And like just giving that handful of details, he's like, got it.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The times that I have seen B-Dave play a character who's like someone else's character, something like that, it's always been entertaining as heck. Like I know for a fact, because he's told Aaron and I this, when they did Court of the Raven Queen, he played Mahen, who is Aaron's character Frida's like adoptive dad. He was so freaking, that was normally I'm fine with this. This is the only time I've been nervous. I want to get this right. I want to get it. I want to get it exactly how it should be. It's in a book. I did want to point out V is in the chat, and it was her who reached out to you first. I don't know why that didn't pop into my head first. Sorry, V. That is, of course, what you do.
I just wasn't gonna say anything because if you say it, it's fine. If I say it, I don't know. I don't want people being like, "Hey V, so that."
Fair.
He knows where I am. V will come find me. It'll be delightful, but like, I've met her. She looks fast.
Oh, I love it. What V says, "Oh, they can try. He isn't driving distance."
Yep.
Oh, we love V. So Rad Ram comes back with another question. Does B-Dave ask you guys as the players not to pay attention to the in-game voting results?
No. And I think that's partially because we're 5 people. You all have so much power, and because we'll still vote, but the thing is, we don't see what the voting results are tallying up to be until the end. Because like, also maybe one of us is like leaning towards one side of story or the other, so that way we still get to be like actively involved since we're playing in the game and playing like on Idle Champions.
Yeah. I do think that like if I were to be on there, like I probably would just avoid it.
Yeah,
because it's like because like I would be there for the game. It's like y'all are doing the voting, you're enjoying that, and that is bringing you joy and awesomeness, and you get to do weird things to the game.
I also think part of why it works out is because if we know what the vote is, then as well we get to opt in to what more if we want, or if there's a result, I might have to be like, if it is an enemy, Gabe doesn't want it to be this character.
Yeah.
Because then it's also like establishing that boundaries and stuff, which helps.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know what the end result's gonna be, but then at least we have a little bit more like agency over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last question we've got here is from I'm gonna say Aaron Daedalus. I'm gonna go with that one. Question: if Solock is Kalishtar, does this mean that he has 3 spirits, himself, Tempest, and the quarry? Oh, eyebrow raises the response.
Maybe. Possibly. Maybe. There's at least 3.
Oh.
There's at least 3. There's a lot of items and backgrounds that change some stuff. That man is a hot pot of wild.
I like that Lauren just puts in the chat just the shock face. There's a lot
of stuff that can change that in these games. And let's say hypothetically you have like 3 commanders in your head that are treating you like their army, and then you're following the way that they work and move and act and stuff like that, theoretically. How easy is it to change descriptions in Idle Champions after Idle Champions presents? That's actually like,
I don't know.
Because if there's like stuff that would be more interesting to add to the story, because there was a lot that I was going to put in that description, and I'm like, I'm not going to do that because y'all read the description, then you know too much.
I mean, that is actually an interesting idea. I genuinely am gonna go to the design team after this and see about that, because like this, for full disclosure for chat and everything, like this is the first time that we've done this sort of thing where. We're working with you. We're working with Mark. Y'all are making these characters. They're they're new to Idle Champions. They're new to the world and everything like that. So it is kind of an interesting thing of like maybe playing around with what gets revealed in game when.
Yeah. I don't know and like I don't y'all go yell to the design team about this.
Leave that to me. Don't you go tweet at anybody.
But like I don't know if you want people to unlock stuff like that. I don't know, like unlock this. I say that because I want it. To be honest, this game has done some things to me. I had it up on the left while I was working, and I'm like, yeah, Solock, yeah. Okay, what was I writing?
Then the game mechanics do the thing.
Yeah, I'm so invested.
I love it.
Sentry is scary, man.
Sentry's awesome. I love Sentry.
Sentry's cool, but like I really don't think Solock has ever seen a Warforged. So he's just like, why is there just a suit of armor that why is everything else broken, but that suit of armor is fine? It talks. Why do its eyes move and its mouth doesn't?
Yeah. I did that actually this week with my players where I just randomly threw in a Warforged and I went, wait, have any of you seen a Warforged before? So one of them rolled to make sure that they didn't just, lose their mind trying to contemplate how that worked. Yeah. Well, Gabe, we're running out of time because we got to get ready for Dev Insights. It goes so fast. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me today about Solock and for making Solock. You did an absolutely amazing job on this character.
One thing I'll say, the last thing I'll say, if Solock pulls out the blade that's not his Tempest blade, that means Solock is desperately worried about death.
Ooh.
So if that comes up, then you all know something outside of everyone else. If he pulls out his Tempest blade, then he's still ready and still in. If the other one comes out, he's worried about death, either his or someone else's. It doesn't mean if it doesn't come out, he's not worried about death. He's not a monster. I feel like that's an important clarification.
I love it. Well, keep an eye out for that for when through all these episodes of Idle Champions presents Fury of the Black Rose, which is showing on Mondays at 10 a.m. for its premiere and 4 p.m. for a rebroadcast. But Gabe, if people wanted to find you and the awesome things you do on the interwebs, where could they do so?
You can find me at Gabe James Games across the internet, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. If it's on Twitch, less of a shell, more just if you follow me, you're likely to know that I go live. I don't post about it online because I just like to stream at weird times or like weird moments. I've gone live twice by accident. So now I set up protocol so it never happens again.
Well, there you go. Be sure to follow him on Twitch and get those notifications. Yeah, again, thank you so much for talking with me today. I cannot wait to see what Solock does in Fury of the Black Rose. And you can catch up on the show right now in case you missed it. It is on our YouTube channel. I'm sure there will be a link somewhere in the chat at some point. And if you're already on our YouTube channel, just keep looking. That is going to do it for this week's episode of Idle Insights. So until next week, take care of yourself.